Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day or night or wherever you are. So, if you like my content, do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Now, without any further ado, let's get back into the video. Now, let's continue where we left off in the last video and let's read. On the bridge crossing a deep culvert at the suburbs, she glanced around and then kneeling, she thrust the lunchbox between the foundation and the flooring. This left her empty-handed as she approached the big stone-high school building. She entered bravely and inquired her way to the office of the superintendent. There she learned that she should have come the previous week and arranged about her classes. There were many things incident to the opening of school and one man unable to cope with all of them. "Where have you been attending school?" he asked. Well, he advised the teacher of domestic science not to telephone for groceries until she knew how many she would have in her classes, wrote an order for chemicals for the students of science, and advised the leader of the orchestra to hire a professional to take the place of the bass violist reported suddenly ill. "I finished last spring at Brushwood School, District Number 9, said Elnora. "I have been studying all summer. I am quite sure I can do the first year work if I have a few days to get started." Of course, assented the superintendent. "Almost invariably country pupils do good work. You may enter first year, and if it is too difficult, we will find it out speedily. Your teachers will tell you the list of books you must have, and if you will come with me, I will show you the way to the auditorium. It is now time for opening exercises. Take any seat you find vacant." Elnora stood before the entrance and stared into the largest room she ever had seen. The floor sloped to a yawning stage on which a band of musicians grouped around a grand piano were tuning their instruments. She had two fleeting impressions: that it was all a mistake, this was no school, but a grand display of enormous ribbon bows, and the second, that she was sinking and had forgotten how to walk. Then a burst from the orchestra nerved her, while a bevy of daintily clad, sweet-smelling things that might have been birds or flowers or possibly gaily dressed, happy young girls pushed her forward. She found herself plodding across the back of the auditorium, praying for guidance to an empty seat. As the girls passed her, vacancies seemed to open to meet them. Their friends were moving over, beckoning and whispering invitations. Everyone else was seated, but no one paid any attention to the white-faced girl stumbling half blindly down the aisle next the farthest wall. So she went on to the very end, facing the stage. No one moved, and she could not summon the courage to crowd past others to several empty seats she saw. At the end of the aisle, she paused in desperation while she stared back at the whole forest of faces, most of which were now turned upon her. In a flash came the full realization of her scanty dress, her pitiful little hat and a ribbon, her big, heavy shoes, her ignorance of where to go or what to do, and from a sickening wave which crept over her, she felt she was going to become very ill. Then out of the mass, she saw a pair of big, brown boy eyes, 3 seats from her, and there was a message in them. Without moving his body, he reached forward and with a pencil touched the back of the seat before him. Instantly, Elnora took another step, which brought her to a row of vacant front seat. She heard laughter behind her. The knowledge that she wore the only hat in the room burned her. Every matter of moment, and some of none at all, cut and stung. She had no books. Where should she go when this was over? What would she give to be on the trail going home? She was shaking with a nervous chill when the music ceased, and the superintendent arose and, coming down to the front of the flower-decked platform, opened a Bible and began to read. Elnora did not know what he was reading, and she felt that she did not care. Wildly she was racking her brain to decide whether she should sit still when the others left the room or follow and ask someone where the freshman went first. In the midst of the struggle, one sentence fell on her ear: "Hide me under the shadow of thy wings." Elnora began to pray frantically: "Hide me, O God, hide me under the shadow of thy wings." Again and again, she implored that prayer, and before she realized what was coming, everyone had arisen and the room was emptying rapidly. Elnora hurried after the nearest girl and in the press at the door touched her sleeve timidly. "Will you please tell me where the freshmen go?" she asked huskily. The girl gave her one surprised glance and drew away. "Same place as the fresh women," she answered, and those nearest her laughed. Elnora stopped praying suddenly and the color crept into her face. "I'll wager you are the first person I meet when I find it," she said and stopped short. "Not that. Oh, I must not do that," she thought in dismay. "Make an enemy the first thing I do? Oh, not that." She followed with her eyes as the young people separated in the hall, some climbing stairs, some disappearing down side halls, some entering adjoining doors. She saw the girl overtake the brown-eyed boy and speak to him. He glanced back at Elnora with a scowl on his face. Then she stood alone in the hall. Presently, a door opened and a young woman came out and entered another room. Elnora waited until she returned and hurried to her. "Would you tell me where the freshmen are?" she panted. "Straight down the hall, 3 doors to your left," was the answer as the girl passed. "1 minute, please, oh please," begged Elnora. "Should I knock or just open the door?" "Go in and take a seat," replied the teacher. "What if there aren't any seats?" gasped Elnora. "Classrooms are never half filled. There will be plenty," was the answer. Elnora removed her hat. There was no place to put it, so she carried it in her hand. She looked infinitely better without it. After several efforts, she at last opened the door and, stepping inside, faced a smaller and more concentrated battery of eyes. So let's stop here and we'll continue in the next video. Till then, bye bye.